Welcome to Life with Miss Jewel, where we dive deep into Black culture and the unique experience of life. Join me as we explore identity, connection, and the experiences that shape us. This is a safe space for honest conversations, culture celebration, and discovering new perspectives. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Jewel Experience Life, Recovery, and Spirituality. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy with me. It's always a pleasure to be with you, ladies. And what is life without spirituality? And what is recovery without spirituality or your life? So I come to you today on this wonderful, it's a new moon, so it's a time to re energize, to collect our thoughts, do a lot of reflection. And so I've asked you here so we could just have a brief discussion about what that looks like for you all and how does your spirituality play a part in your life. And to tell you a little bit about myself, I know y'all know me very, very well, but I've walked a spiritual line on the fence. And I say on the fence because I was always trying to do wrong to make it right. I was always pulling towards the negative to justify what I wanted, and what I wanted wasn't always good for me. And in that justification, I hurt a lot of people, not only myself, my children, friends. Um, just a lot happened, over the years. And I had to do a lot of amends. I had to do a lot of reflection papers, a lot of AA, NA, OA, SA, all of them, right? Because when we talk about spirituality and you're imbalanced until you recognize that our chakras with our nervous system, and that's a whole nother gambit. But your whole spirituality has to do with your chakras, your mentality, your mind, body, and spirit. That's why it's the same, right? Because they work in congruence with each other. And I was just off balance. I was out of balance, and that's what I was bringing to the table and ignoring it. I chose to ignore it. I chose to do what I wanted to do versus what the universal will was for me, and I suffered in behind it. And and I say I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect, right? I'm still working on it. But what it has led me to is living a life where I'm mentally free of those demons that plague my life. I'm able to say no. No is a word. It's an answer. Like it's a whole answer. No. And empowering myself to say no because I was a people pleaser. And just with that could be a whole book, people pleasing, right? I had to come to in my life to say no, like I'm not doing that. I love myself too much to keep struggling like this and call on my higher power, which they talk about in AA, and that's where recovery comes in because it helps, the big book, the Bible, the whatever you use, the Quran, the AA book. We all have to have a tool to look up to guide us, like Bible basic alert, basic instruction before leaving Earth. We all need a manual. We all need a guidebook. We all need somebody, a mother, spiritual guide. And I had to start calling on those powers, right? For me, that's what it took, reaching out of myself to find something better. And it was not easy. I think the more I tried, the harder it got because, like, why not now? Why not now? And it wasn't coming now. And it's the great saying that they say God is always on time. I learned to live by it and let it divine timing. That's your favorite stuff. Divine timing. I got that from my grade. Divine timing. Peace. Let me do peace. Divine timing. I'm like, yep, that part. So I'm gonna pass the mic. I did enough talking, and we'll just keep it short. Did I do it? I'm sorry. You
No, it's your own. But ask the question one more time.
go ahead.
You It's your question that you want us to answer.
Oh, I thought you said push it.
No, sorry.
Oh,
Just ask one more time.
I would like to hear your experience of life and spirituality. And you could talk about anything you want. We're going to keep it brief, but just have a discussion. Elders first. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, my name is Afi Reynolds. They call me Mama Afi. I'm an author known as Queen Afi, and I have written two books uh, on ritual and making it common and everyday, so that you can incorporate that into our community. We can incorporate it into everything that we do, and because it's about doing things consciously, regardless to whether you're reading a book or you're studying from someone. It's about doing it consciously and about doing it open-hearted and keep your mind out of it. My journey has been um, kind of strange because I feel like I've been here before and I've done all of this before. And I actually remember volunteering to come back at this time. And I said to somebody, because they asked, why would you do that? You've already made it through. Why would you go back there? And I was like, well, I made it out once already, so I think I can go back in and start out as a child, and and then fulfill my mission, to help others. This is a time of change. And you have a lot of people that are cool with it and they're going to go through the change. But the majority of people, even the smallest change that's going on now, they fall apart. And I hate to say it like that, fall apart, but it's hard for them to incorporate that change, breathe it in, and feel good about it. And that's what's going to be needed. There's going to be a change in vibration. There already has been one, and to let us know, but now the big one is coming. And it's about what side are you going to continue to sit on the fence? And if not, what side are you going to step off on? Because it doesn't really make any difference as long as you do it consciously. See, that's the thing, not doing it out of habit, not doing it following somebody else, but consciously understanding and accepting within yourself the power to know right from wrong, the, the power to know what's selfish for you and what's selfful, so that you can do the work that you need to do. And so, in coming back here, it has been absolutely and totally traumatic. I remember I was in Germany. We were living in Germany, and I was out on the street, and for some reason, I just stopped and I looked around, and the thought came to me, what did they do to my planet, my beautiful planet? They done got all this concrete everywhere, no trees. Where are my trees? I did a tour through the United States and I was looking and it looks beautiful, but something inside of me kept saying, but where are my mountains? Where, you got these little hills, but no, they were mountains at one time. We went out to California to the redwoods. And I was talking to a redwood, and I was like, wow, I can't imagine the number of feet that have walked past you. And when I looked down in my mind, I could see all of these different types of feet and shoes and everything. And the tree said to me, and you too. So it's about being comfortable with change. And it's about being comfortable with spirit. It's about being, if you really hear it and you understand it for what it is, it's about being obedient. It's about being fearless. Spirit demands fearlessness, but you have to be obedient also. You're saying, you said on your part, you did some things that you knew weren't right against spirit, that you knew weren't right. Well, I did big major things that I knew I wasn't supposed to do, and I don't know why I did it. I let the influence of outside people, and oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and I did it. And it's not that it was a mistake, but it was just another lesson for me to learn, you know. And I know that, every lesson you get stronger with it. And so I'm willing to go through it. So that's my story.
Wow, thank you. Ashe to that. Wow. Well, my name is Mzadi Figus. What do I do? I do a lot of different things, I guess. Um, Mainly though, I have a YouTube, PVTV, and a business in Gambia, Vegas business, that specializes in building tiny homes, helping people relocate to Gambia, and also helping with paperwork for or land purchases as well. My spiritual journey is very interesting. I grew up in a church. I was a church girl. I was an usher. I sung in a choir. I hand praised. I went to Sunday school. I went to Bible school. I went to the summer studies that at the church. I hand praised sign language. I hand praised sign language gospel songs for deaf people. So it's like I was very much indoctrinated, and my granny grew up in the church. As we all know, throughout history we were given this religion, or at least that religion, and we kept it going for a very long time, and even still to this day. One day though, I was in Bible school. I was older, so I was able to be in a class with the pastor's wife. And I remember this was the very last day that I could stomach um the religion. And I was sitting in, and I had already started asking my grandma questions that she really didn't like when I asked her, but I would be like, oh, God created us, who created God? She didn't like those answers, but she could never answer the question for me, and it made me super curious. And so I was sitting in Bible school. It was early Sunday morning, and she was just saying different things in the Bible that we should learn. And at one point, she stopped and she looked at us and she said, "I want to let you know that if you attend any other church besides our church, then you are basically sinning, and you will be disowned from the church." And I was baptized as well, so I was baptized at this church as well, which that offended me a lot, because I had been to numerous different churches at that point, and I had seen very differences versus this church, what makes this church better than this. Everything has pros and cons. And so when she said that, I instantly felt like I was in a cult. I feel like this wasn't right. I feel like nobody should be able to tell me the way that I praise, or where I praise, or who I praise with is wrong or right, and that you are the only person that I can praise with if I'm supposed to be getting in tune with God in this space. So I left the church, never went back. I haven't been back since that day. And I started to meditate on my granny's porch. So I would sit down, and I would actually, I hate that I did this now as an adult, because I know how it hurt me back then. But I would force myself to starve, and I would sit on the porch, and then I would just sit there. And I would just, oh, I need to feel this. I need to feel it. I need it to work. I need it to work. And it never worked. Never one time worked. I never felt enlightened. I never felt like the meditation just got me there. One day I got up. So I used to do it very, very early in the morning. One day I got up from the porch. I said, "This is not working. I'm finished with this." As soon as I stood up, a hummingbird flew into my face right here, and I couldn't see anything but the body of the bird because the wings were moving so fast, and I just felt this rush of this is the answer that you was looking for. And ever since then, I've believed in myself and the ancestors and my intuition. Um, and poetry helped me as well to stay in tune with that. So that's my spiritual journey. And now I'm like 11 years into just worshiping my ancestors and praying with them every day.
Amen.
Peace, blessings. My name is Ada, and you know, it's kind of a not necessarily difficult question, but I'm learning deeper what spirituality as far as means to me. Um, in my journey, of course, I was raised in Christian household, and my mom was very different though. She was very open minded, and so was my dad, especially when it came to space creatures. And, you know, now I found out that these entities are somewhat even connected to me, um, and is a part of my spirituality. So that's where it kind of, for some people, and I'm still learning right now as far as my spirituality, I am diving on the dark side. You know, we all think of spirituality to be so white, so light, so perfect. But in order to change yourself, you have to go on the dark side of your minds to battle demons. That to me as well is spirituality, because during them times of facing everybody's journey, I feel like it's different of things, why you come to this planet and where you're supposed to ascend to. And I'm learning there's many places that we can go. You know, we come to Earth, in my perspective, to learn how to die. Earth is one of the lowest um, vibrations. Hi. Next time. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Earth is one of the lowest vibrations where our spirits in general can come to. Um, when we reincarnate back, some by choice, like Mama Afi said, and some by the nature of how you lived your life. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm kind of diving into as far as spirituality is. I'm diving into my dark side. My dark side will bring the light. Going into the dark will bring light. So I'm cleansing myself, doing shadow work. Some people also calls it going into the dark. Um, so that's the spiritual battle that I am facing right now. And people are so afraid when you say dark. You know, it's like, oh, she's demonic. Some things, when even you say spirituality, it's like there's so many labels. I mean, there's so many labels on what it's supposed to look like and how is it supposed to be. So just for me, I am still learning about myself, about my spirit entities, things that come with me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now as far as spirituality. And it came about for me just by battling my own minds and just healing certain traumas. And yeah, now I'm here. So mhm.
Thank you, Ida. So everybody give yourself a round of applause for being here. Mama Afi, I thank you because you've helped me a lot since I've been in the Gambia, coming with me on the ocean, on the new moon, and setting intentions with you and learning from you. So I appreciate that. And my dear Mzadi, thank you so much for sharing your experience with the hummingbird, because that is creation. That is the universal conscious saying you there is a God. We call it God, but it's not really a name for that creation that we could really give, that gives prudence to the amazing authority that really governs our life. And when we look to that authority and let that govern our life, it's a spiritual path that we won't miss out on. You know, we'll love it, and it gets better, and it does get better. Thank you, Ida, for sharing. And she said the dark side. So Luke, I am your father. It's important that we acknowledge our dark side because it's us. And I was just listening to a YouTube video about getting in tune and getting in touch with the dark side and not being afraid. You know, those nightmares or whatever keep you up at night, keep me up at night. um we have to face it. So I appreciate you, Ida, for that, because it's about facing ourselves. That's the dark side, because that's the dark side, right? So I want to thank you all. But if before I close, I want to take a minute for deep breath, diaphragm breathing, straight, back straight, and we're gonna breathe from that core, that diaphragm. We're gonna pull it in, eyes closed or lowered. Really feel that breath. Feel that breath. I'm gonna count to 5, and then we're gonna exhale. Ah, take it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah. All right, that's the Jewel experience, life, recovery, spirituality. Stay tuned. Watch out for what's coming next. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. He like, I'm like, what? Like, comment, subscribe. I know you wanted some of the peanuts, huh? Me too. I'm like, damn it. Oh, no.